Oh my god, this coffee is so good. Oh my god, you have no idea. It's so freaking good. Go get your coffee and drink it because it's so good. What's going on, guys? Zuko back with another Dragonflight video. I'm a little tired. I just got back from my night shift, but I got to make the video for today because I got a lot of stuff. I got a lot of stuff going on later today. So let's jump into it. I want to make the video for Enhancement Shaman for the fire build. This is the preview, essentially, of the fire build that currently exists in Shadowlands right now, which is probably the best Shadowlands build for Enhancement Shaman. The Primal Wave Actuators Legendary with, like, Necrolord in Mythic Plus is the best build. And just does truckloads of damage. So we're going to talk about that build transitioning into Dragonflight. My hair is a disaster. I don't want to talk about it. What has the build lost in Dragonflight compared to Shadowlands? What has it gained? Is it better? How does it feel? Yada, yada, yada. Okay? Let's jump right into that. First, I got to drink this coffee again because it's so good. Go get your coffee. Okay. First of all, let's talk about all the things that we lost for this build. Okay? We lost one thing. We lost one thing for this build, and it was the conduit that gave Lavalash a high critical strike chance. So something like 30 or 40 or 50% crit on Lavalash. Maybe it was like 30. There's a conduit in Shadowlands that did that, and we don't have that anymore. So you're not going to be getting lots of Lavalash crits, but it doesn't really matter because that's literally the only thing. And what we gained in Dragonflight is pretty insane. So let's take a look at it. I'm disoriented now. Here we go. Let's take a look at this. So, first of all, the pathing for the fire build is very simple. You're going to go Lavalash, Molten Assault, Fire Nova, Hot Hand, PLA, Lashing Flames. Yes, we have Lashing Flames back. Massive deal. I'll get to that a little bit later. And then you're going to come over and get like Sundering, Crash Lightning, and then head over to the Primordial Wave stuff because the Ascendant stuff you don't care about. You're not going to be... It's not about Storm Strike. It's not about triggering Ascendants and getting Thorums. It's all about fire damage. So you're going to go down and pick up, like, elemental weapons down here, yada, yada, right? Let me just move away from this Evoker real quick because he's being loud. So, what has been buffed in Dragonflight with this build? Well, straight out of the gates, Molten Assault is a better version of the buff that we got in 9.2.5 or 9.2 in Shadowlands, where they finally let Lavalash spread Flame Shock. Remember that? Remember that, like, 8 months ago when that happened? It's coming into Dragonflight, and it's even better. Right now in Shadowlands, if you press Lavalash on an enemy that has Flame Shock, it will spread to 3 targets. So you have your initial Flame Shock plus 3 for a total of 4. In Dragonflight, you're getting your initial Flame Shock plus 4 for a total of 5. So still not like all the way to 6, which is... Some people have been complaining about, like, why not just make it 6? Like, then, because that's our target cap, right, for Flame Shock is 6 targets. You can only have 6 Flame Shocks out at a time. I think it's fine. I think that Blizzard really gets a lot of crap from this from players. Like, just make it simple. Like, I press one button, and then I press one other button, and it, like, does all the things that I'm supposed to be doing. Like, we're not playing, like, an auto battler here. We're playing a freaking MMO. And I don't think that Blizzard should actually make everything, like, super streamlined and super simple. Like, you should have to think a little bit about what you're doing with your character rather than just being like, this button, and then this button, and then I wait, and then I do this button, and it's over. It's like, no, you have to think a little bit about it. There's a little bit more dynamic. You do your 1 Flame Shock, and then you spread it to 4 more targets. Now you have 5. If you want that 6th Flame Shock to be 100% optimal, then you got to send another one out to another person, and then... you can get rolling with your Fire Nova and your Primordial Wave Lightning Bolts and stuff. Like, I'm glad that it works out that way. But the bottom line is, it is buffed. This is a massive buffed version of this, and it's actually a massive deal. Getting 1 additional Flame Shock for free saves you 1 GCD, and if you want to just consume it immediately and not actually bother getting the 6th target, it's just very fast. Like, you don't have to spend as much time getting your damage ramped up. And sometimes that can be really frustrating. Like, you start off a fight, and there's some classes that are just doing, like, maximum damage, like, right away. Like a Marksman Hunter who, like, preps their aimed shot, which is, like, a 2.5-second cast or whatever. They, like, prep it before the pull, and then they're just, like, boom, they're doing 40k DPS, and you're like setting up your flame shocks and getting this one over here, and then Primordial Wave, and then your lightning bolt to get the haste buff, and then Fire Nova, and then you're going. You know what I mean? So this is like a small change, but it's significant, I believe, in terms of the amount of GCDs that you're saving, like over the course of an entire dungeon, and like just it makes it feel a lot smoother to play. So five targets from pressing one flame shock into one lava lash is 5 flame shocks. Very good change. Fire Nova is here, does lots of damage, same cooldown that it's always had. That hasn't changed. Can get reduced with haste, gets massively reduced with bloodlust. Okay, so Fire Nova, basically the exact same. Will trigger on up to 6 enemies with your flame shocks on them. Okay, very, very good. Hot Hand is here. It is still a 2-point talent. The value of Hot Hand, I think my screen just changed color there, guys. I don't know if you saw that. Maybe only I can see it. Doesn't matter. The value of this talent still being, even though it's 2 points, it's probably more valuable than almost any 1-point talent on this tree. Hot Hand is incredibly strong. It's just as strong as it was in Shadowlands. Very, very good to have it there. So this is the core of your build, of course. You're waiting to get these Hot Hand procs. Primal Lava Actuators is here as well, which you can dip into, and it's really, really good. Same setup as before. This got added this week that we're in right now. So, like, last week, we didn't have Lashing Flames. And the fire build was, like, looking fine, but not, like, amazing. And now that Lashing Flames is back, it is insane, guys. I cannot tell you, cannot stress enough. I can tell you, I can't stress it enough how important Lashing Flames is to your damage. Look at what I was doing here. This is the wrong one. Target this one. There we go. Look at the damage of Flame Shock. Flame Shock will always be in like your top 2 DPS abilities over the course of a Mythic Plus dungeon simply because of Lashing Flames. It is 100% because of this talent. And like in Shadowlands, we had to pick this talent versus like, you know, other talents like with the Rose, right? Now it's just literally a 1-point talent. It is insane amounts of value as a 1-point talent. It'll make your Flame Shocks do outrageous amounts of damage. That's all I can say. So with how easy it is to spread Flame Shocks now, all you have to do is tab target through enemies when you get a Hot Hand proc, and you just go Lava Lash here, Lava Lash there, Lava Lash there, Lava Lash there, and then your Flame Shocks just start doing outrageous amounts of damage. So it's really, really cool. Lots of damage coming from Lashing Flames. Excuse me. A new change came in this week that's really, really cool, and it's not even fully implemented yet, but it will be. And it's this node here, Swirling Maelstrom. Consuming Hailstorm, using Ice Strike, or casting Fire Nova. Don't worry about the doubling up of the Fire Nova in the tooltip there. Casting Fire Nova grants you stacks of Maelstrom weapon. That's all you need to know. It's actually getting changed, I think, to 1 stack per enemy hit by the detonations, or per detonation. I forget what it is. We'll have to just try it out on Tuesday Reset, which is coming up today, actually. But it'll be later today I can try this out. The point is simply to say that it will now generate Maelstrom weapon stacks for you. Pressing Fire Nova gives you Maelstrom weapon stacks, which obviously it didn't before in Shadowlands. And one serious issue with the fire build in Shadowlands is generating Maelstrom weapon stacks. It's not so much that way with the tier set bonus that we have in Shadowlands, because you're summoning dogs all the time and the dogs just passively give you Maelstrom. So it's kind of solved from there. But like, this is a really good change for the fire build because it struggles to produce Maelstrom weapon stacks, unlike the Storm Strike build with like Wind Fury, or even Hailstorm. Hailstorm in Shadowlands, obviously we had the Chilled to the Core Conduit, which did it. They're kind of bringing that through with Swirling Maelstrom. So it's good to see that the fire build is getting an additional ability to generate Maelstrom weapon stacks, because it traditionally struggles with that, in single target especially. In AoE, you tend to just press Crash Lightning and you get all your Maelstrom weapon stacks, and it doesn't matter. But now you're going to have an additional way to get those Maelstrom weapon stacks to make the build feel smooth, so that you're never having a moment of like drought where you're not getting generation. So massive change in Dragonflight coming in for the Fire Nova Mythic Plus Maelstrom weapon stack generation. Okay, very, very good change there. I love this. Now, the last thing I'm going to say is that we are obviously getting access to multiple legendaries, and along with Swirling Maelstrom, we're getting Witch Doctor Wolfbones. And remember, every time you gain a stack of Maelstrom weapon, your Feral Spirit's cooldown goes down by 2 seconds. So I'm just going to show you this like really quickly in practice, and then I'm going to do the target dummies in a second. But I want you to see this on 4 targets. I'm going to press my Feral Spirits. Then I'm going to spread Flame Shocks, and I'm just going to press Fire Nova once. And I want you to see how many seconds come off the cooldown of my wolves. Okay, so this, we're going to spread it. Here we go. You ready for this? I'm at 116, 114. Here we go. 110. Boom. 54. I went from 110 to 54. So, like, that took 15 seconds off the cooldown of my dogs. Just pressing Fire Nova on 4 targets. Not even 6 targets, 4. So I'm not even getting the top value out of this that I could be getting. That's how good this is. Shoot, I got to go the other way. Let me just reset combat here. This is a substantial change that Swirling Maelstrom is here, combining it with Witch Doctor Wolfbones. And, of course, you get access to both these legendaries now at the same time. Both legendaries meaning Witch Doctor Wolfbones and PLA. So, obviously, in Shadowlands, we only had access to 1 legendary. And now you have access to Primal Lava Actuators and Witch Doctor Wolfbones, and you're getting the Covenant ability of Primordial Wave. And I'm going to talk about this again in a second. But this is a really, really big deal. The combo of Swirling Maelstrom, them adding in Fire Nova to the Swirling Maelstrom thing so that it generates Maelstrom weapon stacks, which not only lets you use your spenders in a much smoother way for the fire build, but it also cools down your dogs. And your dogs now have been changed to say that they give you 15% more damage to a particular element if you take elemental spirits. It could be fire, frost, or lightning. Oh, sorry about that, guys. Somebody just subbed on Twitch. Sorry about the noise. So you could get fire, frost, or lightning right on your dogs. Obviously, if you get like a frost dog, it's pretty unlucky. But if you get a fire dog or a lightning dog, you're in business, like especially if you get a fire dog with this build. With this build, you're still pressing Crash Lightning. You're still pressing Chain Lightning in AoE. So if you have a lightning dog out, you're getting massive damage on your Chain Lightning. And if you have a fire dog out, it's Christmas, right? It's just Christmas. But bottom line is Swirling Maelstrom plus Fire Nova now, plus Witch Doctor Wolfbones is very, very cool. Finally, last piece here, you're going to want to take elemental weapons to get more fire damage. And then you're getting the Primordial Wave plus Primal Maelstrom, which gives you 10 stacks of Maelstrom weapon, plus the haste that we're used to getting from being a Necrolord in Shadowlands. So this Primal Maelstrom, of course, generates 10 stacks of Maelstrom weapon right away. So you're going to see when I do the target testing here, I'm going to summon my wolves, and then I'm going to press Primordial Wave. Okay, wolves into wave. I'm going to immediately get 20 seconds off the cooldown on my wolves. Then I'm going to spread the Flame Shock that Primordial Wave just put on the dummies to all nearby targets, and then I'm going to detonate it with Fire Nova, and my wolves will basically be off cooldown. That's what's going to happen. You'll see in a second here. So, one final thing is just to say that I don't take Wind Fury Totem with this particular setup. Now, I'm not max level yet. There's 3 more talents that I will have access to when I'm max level. I don't think I would even take Wind Fury Totem with it, though. Genuinely, I would not. I think I would go ahead and take, like, maybe Storm's Wrath, probably more like Gathering Storms and Crashing Storms, because Crash Lightning and Chain Lightning do nature damage. And again, if I'm summoning elemental spirits all the time, then I'm going to be doing, if I get a lightning dog or a fire dog, I'm in business. And that's what I want to be doing. I want to be minimizing the amount of lost damage that I might get from the elemental spirits proccing Frost Wolves. You know what I'm saying? So, let's do this. Let me get my toy. Let's get the turnip out. Turn up. I really wish I could get a 6th target, but the best I can do is 5 targets. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go wolves into Primordial Wave. We're going to immediately get 10 stacks of Maelstrom weapon. That's going to cool down the dogs. We're going to spread the Flame Shock around. Then we're going to consume the Primordial Wave buff with our Lightning Bolt. The Lightning Bolt will cleave, and we'll get a huge haste buff here. Then we're going to detonate with Fire Nova and go, and try and get a Hot Hand proc. That's what we're waiting for. Okay, ready? Here we go. Wolves into Wave. There we go. Spread it around. Lightning Bolt. Fire Nova. Hot Hand proc. Oh, not yet. I'm tab targeting. Wolves are back already. What did I tell you? Wolves are back. We're tab targeting here for the Lashing Flames damage, okay? Okay. I'm just pressing Storm Strike now. First Storm Strike. I've only pressed Storm Strike once. There, my Lava Lash is back. Fire Nova is back. My dogs are going to be back because of Fire Nova. Some of my dogs again. I don't know which ones we have. It's not showing me on my tooltip, but we do not have a Fire Dog right now. That's okay. We'll get one. Another Fire Nova. Watch the cooldown on the dogs. 20 seconds off the cooldown of the dogs. Here's my big Primordial Wave window. Are you ready? Boom. Dogs are back. Big Lightning Bolt cleave. 3 Fire Dogs right now. Big Fire Nova right there. 3 Fire Dogs. Hot Hand proc with the Fire Dogs. This is the dream right here. Tab targeting through. Big Fire Nova. Dogs are back. Let's summon more. I had like 6 dogs out there for a second. Okay? This is the build, guys. This is how it's going to work. It basically functions the exact same as it used to, but now you have synergies with like Witch Doctor Wolf Bones and Primolava actuators, cooling down your dogs, buffing your fire damage. It's really smooth now. It feels really, really fun to play. And on top of it, you get the big Primordial Wave haste window like we're used to getting. I'm going to set it up right here. Okay, here it comes. I'm going to do Lightning Bolt into Primordial Wave. My dogs are almost back. Dogs are up now. I'm going to do Lightning Bolt into Fire Nova. Boom. Look at that detonation. Then we're off to the races. We're speedy, speedy, speedy. I'm tab targeting through, making sure that I get the Lashing Flames debuff. My dogs are back again. We're going to summon them. I'm not even sure which kinds I have. I have a million different dogs up. You see the idea, okay? We hovered around 36K, but we spiked up to like 40K. And again, guys, as I'm saying, your Flame Shock is always going to be at the top because of Lashing Flames. And that was just added back in this week. So thank God Blizzard came to their senses and brought back Lashing Flames because it's such a core part of this. It does mean you have to tab target through enemies, and some people hate that. And if you hate that, I'm sorry for you. But it is just going to be a part of the Mythic Plus like rotation. You're going to have to get used to it. So here's the damage, what it's going to look like. Again, fire, fire, and chain lightning. Why? Because we have those dogs up all the time. You're getting the bonus of the fire dog and the lightning dog. I'm not even sure which one's procced. I can't really tell. Details is like working, but it's not like perfectly 100% there. So just know all your fire damage and your nature damage is going to be very high up there. You know, my Storm Strike damage is super low. My Wind Fury damage is like, it's there, but it's only 3%. You're really looking at Flame Shock, Fire Nova, and Chain Lightning. Those are going to be your top 3. That's how the build works, guys. It's basically the exact same as it was before, except now you're getting extra synergies we didn't have before. You get to take PLA, but you also get Witch Doctor Wolf Bones. And you get to have all kinds of wolves out. And again, some people were like worried about the RNG of the wolves. There's the cooldown on them is like instant all the time, guys. Because of the new interaction between Swirling Maelstrom and Firestorm, you got to see firsthand the dogs come back. Like when you're doing the Primordial Wave buff into the Fire Nova buff, the wolves go from a 1.5 minute cooldown down to like 20 seconds just from doing that little combo. They're almost back just right away. And then, of course, your regular abilities like Crash Lightning and Lava Lash will also cool them down. So it increases the chances that you're going to get a Fire Dog, and it's really not a big deal that it's an RNG nature in terms of Elemental Spirits. Like, do not worry about it. I promise you, you'll be fine. This is how the build works. Bonuses that we're getting, extra Flame Shock for free now. Again, guys, this entire test that I just did was on 5 targets, not 6. So I was missing a 6th target. You get 1 extra Flame Shock from Molten Assault in Dragonflight. Fantastic. Fire Nova generates Maelstrom weapon stacks, which lets you get to your spenders more quickly and cools down your dogs to Witch Doctor Wolf Bones. You still get the Primordial Wave haste buff from Splintered Elements, and now also the 10 stacks of Maelstrom weapon to cool down your dogs even more. And of course, Lashing Flames is absolute king once again, topping the charts with our Flame Shock dot damage. So there you go, guys. That's the fire build right now. It is Tuesday today. It's reset day. I will check Wowhead and we'll see if they do any more big changes for Enhancement Shaman. I think the changes that we've read about last week are the ones that are coming in this week. So it's probably not going to be anything earth-shattering going on. But the fire build is going to be very strong. And it looks like it's going to be really fun. It's going to be very smooth in terms of its Maelstrom weapon stack generation. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about the synergy with Witch Doctor Wolf Bones. Guys, the fire build is going to be fantastic in Mythic Plus. Probably very strong in single target fights as well. Fire Nova loses a little bit of value there, but again, if it's generating Maelstrom weapon stacks for you, even in single target, it's getting extra value there as well. So very good. very good first showing on the fire build. It's going to be fine. So if you were happy with the fire build in Shadowlands, you're going to be even happier in Dragonflight. So thank you guys so much for watching. Drop a comment down below if you want to talk about the fire build. Let me know what you think about it in those comments. Drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I would really appreciate it. It helps me out a lot. Thank you guys so much for watching once again. I love you all. I will see you in the next one.